This week on Blockbusted, we had some technical difficulties, but we're back now, baby! We're talking Star Wars Rogue One, full spoilers, all the stuff. It's amazing, and also has some flaws, but it's still amazing. Yeah! Also, we talk Blade Runner. Welcome to Blockbusted. So, Hitchcock, we've had some major technical difficulties with this Star Wars Rogue One episode, haven't we?
Dumb podcast we got going on.
Dumb podcast. You know, in a way, we're the most professional podcast of all time, but in another way, we are still total amateurs. Like, you can go back and listen to our older episodes, and it makes you feel real good, doesn't it?
Sure.
You go, oh, wow, we've come a long way.
Yeah, exactly.
But in a way, in the 2 years we've been doing this, we're still having some major problems.
Major. We're getting it pulled together to go. Okay?
Yeah.
Well,
maybe we should tell the story real quick, I guess, just to recap. We're doing this episode on Monday, the 19th of December, if you will. And so we recorded a Rogue One episode back on Saturday morning, and we were like, that was a pretty good episode. That was fun. We talked about Rogue One, talked about spoilers, did all that stuff. Now I'm going to go edit it, and I went to edit the episode. And Hitchcock's, that's your name. That's your given name.
Hitchcock.
You've changed it on Twitter to just Hitchcock. And your audio was, it was an hour and a half episode, and you had only recorded 25 minutes somehow.
Yep.
Made absolutely no sense because you were checking to make sure it was recording.
I was literally checking every 5 minutes, and it said it was tracking the time, it was tracking the levels, and everything.
Yeah. So
complete garbage. Complete garbage.
The good thing is, since then, both of us have seen the movie again, so we may have some assorted,
some new, very
odd,
insightful,
surreal, cerebral thoughts, if you will. And also, it's another day. I don't know. I had another point there. I've just forgotten.
Another day.
But yeah. So now you're using Audacity to record. So hopefully this will come through. You know, if it doesn't, I'm giving up.
Yeah.
And if this were any other week, we would just give up after the first episode failed. But this is Rogue One. This is
because that's how determined we are. You know.
This is the spirit of Star Wars.
It is. You can't.
As I said in the last episode, Star Wars comes but once a year, and every year, it brings good cheer.
Yeah. Exactly. Great way of putting it.
Yeah. Anyway,
stuff.
So. Last time we did the episode... Oh, no, we're going to be referencing the last time we did the episode this whole time. The deleted timeline episode.
Yeah.
We didn't do any news. We just skipped right in. But you know what? Since we did that, there's been one big piece of news. And that's the Blade Runner 2049 trailer. The new Blade Runner sequel was released. I have never seen Blade Runner.
Yep.
I'm assuming you have not either.
Nope.
So maybe I'll watch that tonight.
Maybe, possibly. I mean, I got nothing else to do tonight, right?
Yeah, but so it's directed. The new movie is directed by Denis Villeneuve. I think that's how you say his name. Who directed Arrival and Sicario and Prisoners and all that stuff. So that's hype.
Should be good.
So we figured you should do a live reaction to the trailer. I've watched it. You have not. So do it. Yeah.
All right. Right now. Right here. Right now.
Yeah. Just pull it up.
All right. I'm pulling it up.
Maybe I'll watch it too.
All right, let's see.
Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, you're going. So should we try to start at the same time?
I guess.
All right, so it's at 0 right now. I'm watching the one by the Warner Brothers.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah, pull it up.
Hang on.
Houston loves these instant reactions. So.
Do you think? Yeah, I love reaction videos so much. No, but like seriously, Reactioners on YouTube are some of the worst kinds of people.
Oh, jeez.
They just sit in a chair and they laugh at stuff and they think they're original. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
Although in a way, we're doing the exact same thing.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm on one right now. I'm gonna press play when you press play. Ready?
All right, ready?
1, 2,
3.
Okay, I'm seeing a black screen. There's some magic black. Oh, there's like There's like
train?
A truck. Yeah.
Bus? Truck?
Bus.
Something?
Keep clear of something.
Okay.
It's probably like a reference or an Easter egg that I don't know because I've never seen the movie.
You got some audio that I can't hear because you're talking over it. Oh,
Same. Okay, he was walking in some smoke. Warner Brothers logo. What? They've changed the Warner Brothers logo.
What's happening?
It's totally new. Hey, look, that looks like Mad Max.
It does. I was about to say that.
Oh, that's really well shot. That like orange smoke mist. Oh, that looks cool.
Got some more Mad Max.
Some barbed wire. Ooh. What is that? Is that a robot?
That's a face, man.
Oh, it's a face.
That's a face.
Does Blade Runner have robots? I don't know.
I guess.
This is probably very comedic to someone who's seen Blade Runner.
Does Blade Runner have robots? It looks like a door. Okay.
This is Ryan Gosling, by the way, this guy.
What a nerd.
What a nerd. There's some Asian writing in that window.
Mm-hmm.
He's walking through the room. If only we could hear the audio.
Ooh, the
He's
piano.
playing a piano! It's La La Land! It's a La La Land sequel set in the dystopian future. What?
Ooh, Mr. Han
Ford.
Solo.
He's got a... Han Solo's in this movie, but he's dead. What? 2049, okay. Blade Runner, Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford. This movie's blowing my mind, man.
10,
6, 17. So October 6th.
We gotta wait a freaking 10
months. 3017.
All right. I can
wait another 1,000 years.
Yeah, we could. I've never seen Blade Runner, so I really have no feelings. I'm sure for some Blade Runner nerd out there, he's like freaking out, right? So
look, my general thought is looks well shot. Yeah. The director's real good. Harrison Ford seems on board.
Yeah.
And I'll go watch Blade Runner.
We do. Well, let's do it. We'll watch it tonight.
We'll do it. We'll do a reaction video. We'll do a commentary. Pretty good. But anyway, Hitchcock, this is all beside the point, okay?
It is.
This is like small news, small eggs, small apples, as they say, if you will, compared to the biggest apples of all, Star Wars Rogue One.
Where do we get apples from?
I don't know. I mean, apples
podcast.
they're an
I hate apples, man.
For something as fruity as Star Wars.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know.
I'm not a fan of apples.
Anyway, so I guess first I should note that obviously we're going to be discussing Star Wars Rogue One, full spoilers. We're going to talk about all the stuff that you've seen in the movie, and we're going to talk about it and go, hey, that bit was cool, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, it was cool. And then you're going to be like, it's cool that they thought something I thought was cool was cool.
And then you'll come back and keep listening to this podcast, and it'll be great, right?
And then maybe we'll have some smart thoughts every now and then in there. But the point is...
The point is we're just going to go through this movie and say this was cool and that wasn't cool.
Yeah. Aside from that, the tangent I was going on was we're talking full spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, what the frick are you doing? It's Monday. Okay? Yeah. This is like...
It's Monday. It's Christmas break, guys. Come on.
Christmas. If you have not seen this movie yet. You've skipped Christmas. You're a Star Wars Scrooge.
Oh, no.
If you will.
Alrighty.
And so we're gonna talk full spoilers. That was my point. That was my point.
It took very long to get your point across.
What did you think of Star Wars Rogue One, Hitchcock?
I did. First impressions, I loved it. You know, I was a real fan. I was on board.
Yeah.
A lot better than I thought it was gonna be. So we like we said, we both saw it twice. So
yes.
It sat for us a while. So. Yeah, I mean, the more I think about it, I mean, I just love it. You know, it's great. I have a fun time watching it. Second time I saw it, still loved it. Caught things that I didn't catch. So, yeah, it's great, man. I love it. First impressions were great.
Well, so the first time you went, you sat in the second row of the theater.
Oh, yeah. Second row. We got there late and craned my neck the whole time.
Amazing.
Impossible to see some of the shots because the colors are so distorted down there. Just down there in the abyss of the second row.
So the second time, you made up for that. You paid it off by seeing it in freaking IMAX.
IMAX 3D, which was...
How was the 3D?
Which was great. 3D, I mean, it's really not a 3D movie, so... Yeah. Really nothing mind-blowing.
Were there any scenes where a character reaches their hand into the screen, out of the screen, and goes, hey, look at this 3D, this magic 3D, you know, like in the Spy Kids movies? No. In the Spy Kids movies, there's always like a big old like CGI thing that'll like fall over and like purposely stick out at you. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
But,
those classic Spy Kids movies.
Classic.
I guess the space battles were pretty cool. In 3D. I mean, it really wasn't anything mind blowing, but the IMAX was great. You know, big screen, loud sound, loved it. So
I got an IMAX poster too. I may go see it in IMAX this week if I have time, because I'm also trying to see La La Land and Manchester by the Sea. And look at how cool I am. I'm like a film hipster. I'm actually seeing good movies. My thoughts on Rogue One are the first time I saw it, I pretty much loved it, as was reflected by our episode. Second time, I still loved it, but I did catch a lot more flaws.
I did too.
I do think I've got some more critical thoughts.
Some more
on this.
insightful things to say about it.
In a way, I'm actually kind of glad that our episode didn't go up because if it had, it would have just been us. What our episode that we recorded was just us saying that was awesome, dude.
Yeah, good point.
I want to not be an idiot, and so I want to, have some critical thoughts about this movie.
Yeah.
I did a review of it on YouTube, which I encourage people to go watch. It's good. I do think I was even actually kind of light on it in that review too, though.
Sure.
So, yes, I still loved it. I think it's a really fun movie. People say it's like depressing and dour and dire and stuff, but I just thought it was really fun.
Yeah. Ties in with the original series fantastically.
Yeah, which we'll get to. But overall, yeah, I liked it a lot. I think I had a lot of fun with it. I think it's a fun blockbuster, but it does have some major problems, which we will get to. So yeah. So should we talk about the characters first? Yeah.
Should we? Yeah. Why not? That worked out pretty well.
Who's your favorite character in Star Wars Rogue One?
Favorite character?
This is a dilemma of life.
Well, you know that dude in the very beginning that Cassian shoots in the back? I think he was a really great character. I really liked him the second time. Yeah. No. Favorite character? Probably K2SO.
Yeah?
I think so. Yeah.
I liked K2SO a lot.
Second time I saw it, Cassian, I'm still not a huge fan of. I mean, he was better second time I saw it, but still not a huge fan. Jenner said she's just kind of there, and I mean, I liked her better than I thought I would, but she's just not my favorite. And I did like is it Chirrut Imwe? Right?
Chirrut Imwe.
Chirrut, he was fun. Him and Bay Malbus were cool. I
Yeah.
liked them a lot. But K2SO was pretty good. I liked him probably the best.
Something I think is interesting about these characters is that, like, with the original Star Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
You, after years of action figures and games and stuff,
Yeah.
you know, every single character on screen in Star Wars is a classic. You know, Ponda Bubba has an action figure, right? Like, every single...
Classic.
Every character in Star Wars goes down in history. You got your Tarkin, you got your like Boba Fett, you know, everyone. What's his face? Max Rebo, the blue elephant man, who's part of the band.
Yeah, man.
But with Force Awakens, I feel
Cy
that
Snoodles, can't forget that one.
Cy Snoodles, classic. With Force Awakens, I feel that is pretty, you know, it's fairly an apt description for that as well. I feel like Kylo Ren is going to go down in history. I felt like the characters of Rey and Finn and Kylo Ren and all the new ones they introduced, even Captain Phasma, who sucked, but you know, she has all these action figures. All of these characters, I feel like, are gonna be classics. You know?
Which helps with I mean, they're coming out with more movies with them, you know, 8, 9, on and on, right? So we should our love for those characters would just increase, you know. And with
Rogue One, I feel like I like the characters a lot, generally, but I don't know that any of them are particularly classic apt. Like, I don't know if they're just not prone to that. I don't know.
They're not super relatable. You know?
May be that they're all dead. It may be that there's no sequel. But yeah, I don't like. You know, if this were Force Awakens, Saw Gerrera would be like a classic character by now. You know, like a new classic character. Saw Gerrera in this, I feel like he's just like totally forgettable. You know, like, I don't know what it is about this movie, but I don't feel like anything is particularly apt to becoming a classic thing, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And it does, like, all the things that are classic are drawing from previous things, you know? And no, it's, you know, it's not bad. It's just, I don't know why they're not quite as memorable or something. You know?
I think that partly because, I mean, we just saw them this one movie, you know, and I do think they didn't get quite as much character development as they could have had, so they weren't very relatable and memorable. Even that, you know.
Well, right, and I guess part
they
of
all die in
like,
the end, right?
You know, we've only seen Rey and Finn in one movie, but I guess the thing with them is that we know possibilities are gonna happen, and like,
and we know
who's
they're
Rey's
gonna
parents,
be back,
you know,
right?
like, so we've still got lots of mysteries left unsolved about those characters, you know.
With this one, they're just dead.
Yeah.
They're dead.
They're just dead.
That's all that happened. Yeah.
But, so I guess I'll talk about, my favorite character is probably, oh, geez.
You're a fan of that pilot, right? Bodhi.
He's fine.
Yeah.
I guess I'd say Chirrut Imwe, the Asian martial artist, blind guy, Daredevil in Star Wars. He's pretty good. I liked him a lot. It was funny is like I do feel like the supporting cast of this movie is far more interesting than Jyn Erso. You know, Baze Malbus and Chirrut Imwe have like a fun friendship.
Yeah, and they were the guardians of the temples.
They were the guardians of the temple.
Yeah.
Bodhi Rook, I like that he's a pilot who's defective from the Empire.
Yeah.
That's cool. He's the weakest of the supporting characters, but you know, and I feel like they all have kind of nice little deaths, you know, toward the end of the movie. So, yeah, and Jyn Erso's not bad, but she just lacks this. I don't know. In my review, I talked about how she takes a sudden turn, you know. She starts off the movie and she's like, I'm a rebel and I hate the rebellion and I hate the Empire and I'm a rebel, you know, and that was the weirdest. And I just, you know, don't like anything and I'm super depressed and whatever. And then she has Forrest Whitaker's character die and her father die, and then she's like, rebellions are built on hope. Everybody hope, 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 hope. And I'm like,
that's some speech right there.
See, because, like, lots of chanting. It was kind of off-putting.
Yeah. She does take just a very
dramatic turn. And that's fine. Like, that's what a character arc is. Like, you know. But I felt like it's missing a beat in there because
definitely.
She, you know...
it felt a bit too sudden for me. You know?
And her motivation is... My dad died and Saw Gerrera died, and both of them wanted me to do this, you know. But the thing is... Characters, you know, like, deaths of a mentor can push a character over the edge, and that's part of what makes them take a turn. But, like, you know, Luke, Obi-Wan Kenobi dies, and then he wants to join the rebellion. But the thing about Luke is that Luke wanted to join the rebellion, but it was just Obi-Wan's death that pushed him to finally be brave enough to do it.
It got him really motivated to do it.
Jyn Erso didn't want to do anything, and then these people died, and then she was like, I want to do this! Woo! Right? So, like, you know, I just feel like it was missing a beat in there, as well as, like, you know, with Rey and with Luke, we see a lot of, I think Red Letter Media brought this up, you know, with Luke, we see several minutes, in fact, some of it is quite slow, of him on Tatooine, just at home, you know, just you know, just hanging out, you know.
Just chilling, drinking that blue milk, you know.
Drinking that good blue milk.
Yeah.
And with Rey, we see at least several minutes of her, you know, scavenging and then trading in for food.
Eating that puffed up muffin.
Eating that cool puffy muffin.
Yeah.
In the Fallen AT-AT. So we see a lot of her, you know, just who she is before this adventure starts.
Yeah.
Rogue One starts, and the spaceship's flying in, and the guys are coming to get Galen Erso, and she's like, Papa, we need to go! And then the story's begun. You know?
There's some blue milk, but no one's drinking it.
There's some blue milk, but no one's drinking it, right? That's a good metaphor.
That's the problem.
There's no time to drink the blue milk.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
it would have been nice
rushed
to see her... you know, a scene with her father or something like that, right? Like chilling,
playing around,
watching TV.
Yeah, I guess we do get that little tiny flashback, you know, of her.
Yeah,
when,
that's true. That was good. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was Coruscant. That was cool.
Yeah, it sure looked like it. But so that was good. I mean, just more of that kind of stuff, you know, just kind of setting up her character in her life before all this happened, you know.
Because her character is supposed to hinge on this relationship with her father, and they try to do that. I like some of what it is. I mean, I like what they tried to do. I like her relationship with him. I like the scene where she sees the hologram is very good. She's got a lot of emotion in that. It's very well acted. And the scene where she sees that the file is called Stardust is nice because it kind of wraps that a little bit. But there needed to be some in the middle a little bit, I think. Maybe one more flashback or something.
Just some more building of her character.
Yeah, I didn't quite buy that relationship. Yeah. I like Felicity Jones as an actress. I think her performance is good. She's got a nice kind of physicality to her because she, like her appearance, like, you know, Daisy Ridley is very kind of traditionally pretty. You know, as you know.
Yeah, hey.
Daisy Ridley is very kind of a classic movie pretty. Felicity Jones is attractive, but I feel like she's got this nice like authenticity to her where she's attractive, but she's kind of flawed too, you know? She's got, you know, I think she's just flawed but attractive and very authentic because of that.
She's not like your typical Hollywood perfect actress, you know?
Yeah.
She's more of a gritty. And I think her Felicity Jones fits the role really well, you know? Yeah. She plays Genersa great. And I thought I liked her a lot more than I did, you know, just her playing her and as a character. Well,
and much like Newt Scamander, it is a performance where it's a character that doesn't talk much.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. She doesn't actually talk that much, especially like then she suddenly has a speech about hope. And so, you know, yeah, it's a good performance for a character that doesn't talk much. And I don't think it's Felicity Jones' fault. But, you know, these characters are hard to capture. The ones that don't talk, you know, that are kind of... I don't think she's shy. She just kind of hates life at first. So, you know. Yeah.
Which I guess can partly be part of the dialogue, right, of the whole movie.
I guess.
Which just isn't the strongest dialogue, because there is... I mean,
there just needed to be a little bit more... of just fleshing her out, as I said, like more of her home life maybe before the adventure begins, or more of like, I'm a big fan of like what I would call the elevator scene, right, where characters are on their way to do something, like, you know, they're on their way, say, in an elevator.
Like that scene from Suicide Squad with Harley Quinn when she's in the elevator, right?
Oh yeah, like that. No, that was a good character development scene.
That elevator scene, huh?
Couldn't have cut that out of the movie, that's for sure.
No.
But, you know, there are often times in movies, something I like is a scene where two characters that we, you know, maybe like but we could use more development of, are on their way to do a mission or something, and so they get in an elevator, or, you know, they're in the car, like the scene where Captain America and Black Widow are talking in the car, in the truck on the way to the camp. That's a great scene that fleshes out some more of the characters. You know, scenes where it's not, you know, they're still moving forward, but there's a little lull in there where you get some more of characters interacting and fleshing each other out. And so I felt like there needed to be a scene of that with Cassian Andor, you know? Like, it would have been cool to have that scene in an elevator when they're going to get the plans or something, right?
Yeah, definitely.
More interaction. And the scene where they're fighting, where he says, I've been doing this since I was 6 years old, right?
Yeah.
Is really, really good. There needed to be more of that, you know?
Yeah.
So
just some more fleshing out of their characters. And
right.
I feel like that's one thing. I didn't get a whole lot attached to all these characters because I just didn't feel like there was enough development throughout them, you know?
Yeah.
I like a little bit more development through characters in movies, you know? And I mean, they had some good arcs, but just not, I didn't feel like it was enough or as powerful as it could have been, you know?
Right.
So...
Yeah.
That's Jyn Erso, though.
That is Jyn Erso. The only one people will remember the name of because they said it in the trailer so many times.
Yep. Who else?
So we've kind of talked about the squad a little bit. Yeah. As I said, I like Chirrut Imwe. I like his kind of friendship with this Baze Malabus guy.
Oh, did you see that tweet or something that they were speculating that they're gay?
Huh.
Chirrut Imwe and Baze Malabus?
I mean...
And people were like, did
Star Wars buds.
Did Star Wars just announce their first gay characters, you know, this and that? I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I didn't even think about that from now. Now I can't stop thinking about it. I went and saw the movie again. I'm like, jeez, why did I read that tweet?
If it was, I would like it because it wasn't forced, I guess.
I get.
Like, if you were going to put a gay couple in Star Wars, then it would be great to do something subtle and not heavy-handed. Where it's not made a big deal out of, right?
Yeah.
I don't actually think they are. I just like that it's a good friendship. And, you know, people always turn these, like, friendships into, they must be gay because they're good friends, you know?
Exactly.
But if they were, that would be better than if they were like had Poe Dameron and Finn go turn to the camera and go, "We're gay, and this is a gay couple, the first one in Star Wars. Geez. Representation, guys! Woo!" Right?
Yeah, definitely.
If it was, that's good because that was subtle. You know,
just more
I don't
subtle.
know.
Yeah. Doesn't even mention it. Anyway, a little sidetrack.
Anyway, Bodhi Rook was the most underdeveloped of them, probably, but I liked his.
Bodhi was just kind of there, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
I liked when he says, "This is for you, Galen," or whatever. Right before his death. That's good.
Yeah, that's good. Definitely. He's got probably one of the least dramatic deaths, I think.
Well, that's what I loved about his death, though.
Really?
I really liked that. You know, it was just like a war zone. Okay. You know, where like things can be going great, and then someone throws a grenade and everyone dies. You know, I thought it was
unpredictable war
kind of a
guys.
Good gritty thing. You know.
Yeah.
And he served his purpose, and he was like, "Well, I'm just, you know, I've served
I'm out of here.
Done what I can do, and this is the end." You know.
Yeah. It was funny. Did you notice when that Scarif trooper threw the grenade in there? It showed a shot of him, and he was just like kind of running right through the middle of the battlefield, and no one was hitting him, and there was bullets flying everywhere, and he's just like, I don't know, random little thing, but yeah. I did feel like I wasn't a huge fan of his death, but I mean it served its purpose, I guess, right?
Yeah. So. Well, the thing is, I liked this squad, like this Rogue One kind of squad as a team. There's only 5 of them. It kind of feels like there's more, but there's only 5. But I do feel like it lacked. If they wanted us to feel like they were a team, like a Magnificent Seven-esque thing, right? Which it is kind of Magnificent Seven-esque, like everybody dies and like it's a blaze of glory, right?
Sure.
But if they wanted us to buy them as a team, there needed to be that Avengers moment where they're all standing in a circle and, you know.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right.
Play the theme
and it lacked that because they kind of split up as soon as they get to
They weren't really a team, you know?
Right.
They were a team for a bit, then they weren't a team.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got that one moment where they're all standing and they just got the troops, and you know, Babe Malbus is like, "How many do you need?" You know? Right. I mean, I guess that could be considered it, right? But wasn't that great. So. Yeah.
I mean, and again, I didn't dislike that. I actually liked these supporting characters more than I thought I would. And
sure, definitely.
It's actually the main characters that needed more development. And there's like with Cassian Andor, which is the only one we haven't really talked about. I feel like there was a glimmer of something really interesting with him.
Yeah.
I liked what we got, but it could have been way developed. He is a, you know, kind of assassin spy, undercover spy in the rebellion. And so he deals with this kind of area of ends justify the means, right? Where he's just doing what he has to do to get the job done. Kills that guy at the beginning. I thought that was really cool because, you know, shows that he's a different type of rebel. And so that stuff was really interesting, and I liked that a lot. I like that he's one of the only Hispanic characters in all of Star Wars as well.
Yeah, I guess he is.
And so, like, I liked what we got, but he really could have been developed, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think rewatching this for the second time, I did notice, you know, that he's got, I think some of his stuff might have got cut off by the reshoots, you know, and the editing, post-editing, because, you know, Chert Inwit has that one scene in there, you mentioned this, where he's like, "I sense a man who carries a cage with him," or something like that, you know? And that, they could have, I feel like, there's something there that they were trying to get at, you know? And they could have, if they had expanded that, maybe it would have brought out his character even more.
Right. In that scene, sure, it's like, we're trapped in a cage of the mind. I sense you carry a prison with you wherever you go, whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, huh. Well, that'll be a cool payoff to see later. No payoff. None, you know?
None. Yeah, which is probably, I mean, it almost felt like it was part of the reshoots or the editing afterwards, you know? Because, like, I mean, no way they just throw that in there and just leave it, you know?
Which we'll get to the reshoots. I've got that on my outline of this discussion. It's all controlled from the inside. This is puppets.
That's good.
What did you think of Forrest Whitaker's character, Saw Gerrera?
His Darth Vader imitation.
Yeah, exactly.
He served his purpose, you know. I thought, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to him, you know. I mean, he's there. He looked cool, I guess, you know. And I mean, really, I didn't think a whole lot about him.
Yeah.
So I mean, I kind of forgot about him. Like,
again,
dies,
I think his character was cut off by the reshoots as well because he was advertised a lot. He's on the posters and stuff. They even made about like he was a member of the team almost. And then
I thought he was a member of Team before going to this movie. So, but then he just kind of dies out, you know.
Kind of dies.
There's nothing left, and you know you do have that scene in with the tentacle.
The tentacle monster. Yes.
Interrogation scene, right?
Oh my god. We talked about this in the last time we did this. Deleted timeline.
The funny thing is, sitting in the first time I saw it, I was sitting in the second row, and I couldn't tell what that was. I just saw some tentacles flying around.
Yeah.
And then sitting back, I could actually see like it was actually like a pink color. And it was like actually had like a little face at the bottom or whatever, had some eyes, and I was just like, "Yeah, this is stupid."
Why was that in the movie?
It's like, completely pointless.
For those who don't know, you're listening to this episode, so you know. But
yeah,
Saw Gerrera's like, "I'm gonna interrogate you." Or, in my Forrest Whitaker impression, I'm going to interrogate you. And this
what's even the name of that thing?
One's mind. And so then he interrogates him with this slime monster.
Yeah.
You could have cut this scene. And then
wouldn't matter.
Later on, it's driven him out of his mind, but then they tell him he's a pilot. And he's like, I'm the pilot. And
I'm
then
the pilot, yeah. That's me.
Goes back to normal. So you could have cut that scene out 1,000,000%, and nothing would have changed.
Nothing at all. Complete pointless thing. It's just like the scene from Force Awakens, the Rathtar scene.
It's just like the Rathtar scene.
Just, I guess, I mean, to try and give Forrest Whitaker's character, I always call him Forrest Whitaker. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Saw Gerrera, give him more screen time, but it really didn't give him any more screen time. It gave him like 30 seconds. I like this idea
that he's like a kind of outlaw,
that was definitely
Mad
cool.
Max-esque.
I like that.
He's kind of one of the rebels, but
he's a rebels of
doing it his own way. You know, he's like an outlier. And I like that, this kind of vigilante justice, like, you know, band of brothers thing. But I kind of hated him, especially in the second run. His voice is really dumb. Like, he's like, my child, is it really you, Jin? And like, you know, it's just over the top and just
and then he's like,
dumb.
Did you come here to kill me?
Come here to kill me?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And like, I just don't know why.
I mean, he looked a lot better in like when he first rescues her from the little rock cave thing, you know.
Yeah.
I see some more when he's younger. You know, would have been cool.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get a Saw Gerrera spin-off movie, you know.
So thus far, Forrest Whitaker has been the worst part of 2 movies this year.
Oh, what else was he in?
He's in Arrival. He's the general in that.
Oh yeah.
He's the general with the totally inconsistent New Jersey accent.
Oh, yeah,
where sometimes he says, "Hey, you want to get over here?" But sometimes he's like, "Hey, you want to get over here?" You know? Yeah.
Oh, good.
I
didn't
Forrest Whitaker, people make out like he's an amazing actor, but those are the only 2 things I've seen him in thus far, so I can't really judge.
So you can't say nothing, boy.
Hasn't been great, though, from what I've seen.
But yeah, Saw Gerrera was fine. I kind of wanted to see him in Rebels, so, you know? See
yeah, it is cool that he's a Clone Wars character, that he's a, you know, I don't know.
Isn't he? They announced he's coming to Rebels, right? Not Clone Wars, because I know he was in Clone Wars.
Yeah. And then he's coming to Rebels as well.
Rebels. Yeah.
So
I kind of want to start watching that.
Yeah, it looks pretty
interesting.
Pretty,
you know?
pretty all right.
Yeah.
So only other couple characters. Galen Erso's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton to say about him. He's pretty
Me
good.
Neither. He serves his purpose. He fills in one of the biggest holes of Star Wars, right?
Yes, which is great.
Which I love that. When I first saw that, I was just, that's amazing. That makes so much sense, you know?
Yeah.
Filling in the gap of the, what do you even call that thing?
Exhaust, I mean, it's the exhaust port. It's a good performance.
Yeah.
He is one of the better performances of this movie, I think. I like that. So one of the payoff I noticed was in the beginning of the movie, he says, you know, this thing about, right, like, since Lyra died, it's been so hard for me to cope or whatever. And then Krennic says, "Oh, here's Lyra back from the dead." I thought that was a fun little moment, nice subtle kind of joke there.
that opening scene I really liked. You know, going back and watching that, it's shot really cool.
Really well shot, yeah.
And like, just I think that's his best scene of the whole movie. So,
yeah,
it's very cool.
But I liked the thing I noticed was after he says that, Krennic goes, "You were always such a bad liar," or whatever. And then in the hologram, he says, "I did what nobody expected me to do. I lied," you know. So that's kind of a nice, subtle kind of arc there.
Very nice.
that's interesting. But
yeah, he's
only
good.
other character is Orson Krennic. What did you think of him? Played by Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, I thought he was fine. You know, he was a good antagonist for this movie. I felt like, you know.
Yeah.
So
I like that this movie doesn't, I think I said this last time, have a like main central antagonist, really.
Yeah.
It's mostly just the Empire, you know. But
as a whole, yeah.
He's kind of a fun antagonist. I like...
Yeah.
He's got this passion. He's like, the power we are dealing with here.
Yeah. He loves his job, you know. He wants.
Yeah.
I like this little jousting with Tarkin, you know, that he has. You know,
right.
that Tarkin's gonna take over, but he wants to. He wants to stay in control, you know. I like that kind of joust for power that they have going on, which is cool.
You know what's funny is I guess we'll talk about this. The second time I watched the movie, CGI Tarkin held up better for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you think?
Well, first time I saw it was in the second row, and I honestly I did not even know he was CGI. That's how bad it looked from down there. Okay, because like he's in a bunch of dark scenes, right? Darkly lit, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Because it's got the Death Star, the gray and black all around him. So
yeah.
It's really hard to make out all those dark colors from the second row. But even sitting in a good seat the second time I saw it, I was like, I mean, there's a few shots that you can definitely tell that he's CGI, but overall, I thought he was some of the best human CGI that I've seen. You know,
yeah,
I thought it held up. I mean, a few times I didn't even think he was CGI. Even
people are comparing it to the Uncanny Valley thing, where do you know what that is? I had to look it up just this morning.
No, I don't.
The Uncanny Valley was. So. I have a feeling lots of people hear this phrase and then don't know what it is and just repeat it. So I'm going to explain it real quick because I looked it up this morning to figure it out. The Uncanny Valley is, people have said this about this whole CGI human thing a lot, where it's the little place where someone made a graph several years ago of human, like, things that are made to look like humans, right? And so it like starts with like, you know, stuffed animals, and then it goes to like action figures, and then it goes to like video games, and then somewhere between like video games and real humans is the Uncanny Valley, basically, where, and they call it that because like the graph goes down, where people just, it looks real weird, uncanny. Yeah. Like where it's not quite fake enough, you know, like if something's like a video game, you know, those aren't, they're realistic, but they're not trying to be too realistic, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not quite perfect either. That's the uncanny kind of, what is this? You know. But actually, I felt like he was really good. It's obviously the best we have right now, for sure. The only thing I noticed was I think his eyes bulge out a little bit. His eyes were a little bit too big, I think, like too cartoony. But overall, I thought it was pretty incredible. That
I did too, especially second time seeing it. Yeah,
right. And it'll be interesting to see like if this really becomes a thing in the coming years, you know. And obviously, the technology will improve.
What's the point of even casting real human beings?
What's the point? Actors will have to like sign off their likeness for once they're dead, you know. So that'll be kind of crazy. And like they did it with Paul Walker, he died midway through Fast and Furious 7 shooting, and so he's like CGI in a couple scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting, but it'll be cool to see how it evolves or devolves.
Yeah. Let's talk about Leia, because she's CGI as well. Second time seeing her, I think she was not as well as Tarkin, you know, which is maybe because she's in a lighter shot.
That's
true.
You
can tell more detail, but like second time seeing it, I was like, ugh, is that? I wasn't. I mean, I could really tell it was CGI.
I'm like staring at it, and no matter how hard I stare at it, I go,
I can't tell. What's
do I
wrong.
like this or not?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's because it looks really good, and it looks like Carrie Fisher, but there's also something off about it.
There's something wrong.
But I go, is it off enough to make me care? Like I can't tell if I like it or not.
Yeah, and by the time you're thinking that, it's already gone. You know, it's only like a 5-second shot.
Yeah,
so, but. Yeah, it'll be one of those scenes where the movie comes out, you pause it, and you just like sit there like, what's wrong with this?
Down.
I think it's either her face is too like her forehead's too small or her eyes are too wide apart. It's something around like the forehead and eyes for me.
I think her mouth was a little odd.
Was
or something.
it? I don't know.
I don't know, but
maybe the whole thing was just off.
I mean,
maybe it was all screwed up.
It's still incredible.
It is, without a doubt.
I do wish with Leia, because she's such an iconic character.
Yeah.
You know, Tarkin's not as iconic, so you can get away with that. But with Leia, I kind of wish they'd done it with just the back of her head, like they start with.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, everyone's gonna know that's Leia. You know,
right.
Every Star Wars fan's gonna know. Like,
and even with Tarkin, it would have been nice to do that too, because they start off that way. They start off seeing the back of his head and then do the glass,
right?
And that's supposed to be the tease where they go, "This is all we're doing," and then he turns around and you go, "Whoa, this," you know.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish both of them had just been the back of their head. I think that would have been more subtle. It would have been more, just, I don't know. It won't date as bad, right?
Yeah,
like
sure.
in 20 years, we look back on this movie, we're gonna go,
they're gonna be fake.
Our CGI humans were so bad back then. Now we have Wall-E the robot cleaning up trash. I don't know.
Oh, jeez. I think partly was that you can't be too hard on it because, you know, every day we're looking into a human's face, right? We know every little detail of what humans look like because we're around them all the time. So seeing a fake human, we're going to know it's a fake human.
Exactly.
You know, no matter what. So, I mean, it's definitely come a long way from past times we've had a
from
CGI
the Polar
human.
Express.
Yeah. Classic movie.
I've actually got a video on the Polar Express coming next week. Tune in,
here.
trademark. So should we talk about, I guess, we've kind of talked about all the characters and stuff.
We have.
Let's talk about the action scenes. So
Action.
We begin with this scene where they're coming to get Galen Erso. You said you like it a lot. I do as well.
I do. I think it's shot great. You know, it's got some wide shots of Krennic and the Death Troopers around him, right? And it's really cool. I loved, second time seeing it, I noticed, you know, when it gives a close-up of Krennic, he's got, like, the little water droplets all over his uniform, you know? It's, like, humid there. Yeah. It's really cool. I love that. Very colorful, bright scene, you know?
Well, and, like,
which I love.
It reflects, again, this cool kind of grimy and imperfect nature of the film. With, you know, the Empire in New Hope and stuff, their capes are, like, perfect and, like, you know, all the clothes are, like, smooth and, you know, perfect. Except Vader's helmet, which has some fingerprints on it if you look closely. But, you know,
the fingerprints
with this, his cape is, like, blowing in the wind and, like, going all around him and stuff, and it kind of, you know, it's very imperfect, and I like that.
Yeah.
It's real, you know, feels very authentic.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Second time I noticed that we made fun of the first time we recorded this episode, the fact that Lyra shoots, or so we thought, she shoots Krennic, and then she's gunned down, and it's supposed to be all like, we made fun of the fact that we were like, that's so dumb, right?
It is.
But second time I noticed that no, she just refuses to put her gun down. They shoot her first, and then she shoots Krennic right as she dies, after she's been shot. So you've got kind of a Han shot first situation there. You know?
Interesting, yeah. I guess you just say do it, right?
Maybe it wasn't so dumb after all. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Still dumb, though.
Still dumb.
I mean, I'm like, lady, just put the gun down.
Yeah.
Are you
Would you like
me?
to see an American Girl doll movie where young Jyn Erso is growing up on this planet, and she's got her stormtrooper dolls and she's playing with them and stuff, and then we get a little young Jyn Erso
Why American Girl doll? Like, what the heck?
I don't know.
I mean,
seems
whatever.
like something they would do.
I don't know. I'm not an American Girl doll.
It'd be
fan.
like an ABC Family movie, TV movie, right?
Oh, jeez.
Maybe ABC Family even still exists. I don't know.
I did think the little girl that played young Jyn Erso was very, very well cast because she actually looked a lot like Felicity Jones. You know,
well, when
as her older self.
When Felicity Jones puts her head in her father's arms, I think, right as he's about to die, I was like, oh my gosh, she looks just like she did when she was young. It was pretty incredible.
Really did.
Like, no joke, I was like, this has to be like CGI because she looks so good, so
it's a great
close
casting.
to the young actor.
One of the best we've seen of young old casting like that, which is really good. Really neat to see.
after that, we cut abruptly to her in a prison vehicle. Or her in prison, I guess, but then she's in a prison vehicle later.
Yeah, Tinker from Clone Wars, right? That's what she's in, or whatever.
Which is really cool.
Which is cool. Throwback to the Clone Wars.
Yeah, and should we talk about that real quick? Should we talk about, like, the prequel intertwinement?
I guess we could.
Yeah.
That's kind of throughout the whole thing.
What we were mentioning was that when she's in this containment vehicle in this Imperial work camp or whatever, which was kind of a cool idea, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I like this idea that the Empire is, like, occupying everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
And they've got these imprisonment camps and whatever. But so
yeah.
she's being transported in, like, an old Clone Wars tank vehicle.
Yeah.
Which is really kind of a cool tie-in. And that
definitely
brings us to what I was hoping we'd talk about eventually, which is that this movie ties in the prequels and the Clone Wars and all that stuff really well, you know?
It does. It really does. Which I applaud it for, you know, because the prequels are
trash.
They're bad movies, right? But I really do like the whole concept of them, you know?
Right.
They were just executed poorly.
Right.
And so I think, but this does tie in them really well with A New Hope and the original trilogy, even better than they flowed before, you know?
Well, and it's good to own it, right?
Because, yeah, exactly.
In a way, like the fact that, you know, if they were to just ignore the prequels, I feel like that makes it worse, you know?
Yeah.
But the fact that they're kind of embracing them kind of makes up for them in a way. Like you go, well, they sucked, but at least they've got us this. They've brought us this, you know, which is good.
They've brought us some great concepts, you know,
right.
of like of Darth Vader, and which we'll get to later with his castle and all that, which I love.
Yeah.
So I mean, great concepts that they brought, and Rogue One does a great job tying them in.
There's the scene on Coruscant. Her father's on Coruscant, and that is Coruscant. I looked it up.
Yeah.
As well as there's the castle on Mustafar, which is cool. Yeah. We've never seen Mustafar in another thing. They have Leia's father, Bail Organa, who's a senator in the Revenge of the Sith. So that's really cool.
There's Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma is in a deleted scene of Revenge of the Sith. So yeah, there are lots of cool little things that intertwine it there, which is nice.
Definitely. I was actually last night I was rewatching some of the scenes from prequels, and it really made me realize how much I hate droids.
What?
Like the droids in those movies are just terrible. I hate them. They're
Which
like
ones?
So silly and dumb.
Oh yeah.
Throughout the whole prequels.
Oh, you mean battle droids?
The battle droids,
right? Yeah.
No, not R2 and C-3PO, but
right.
No, like the battle droids are like,
so dumb.
Pew. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Like even stormtroopers.
So bad.
You know what this movie does well is this movie makes stormtroopers intimidating.
Yeah,
right?
They really do.
Stormtroopers have never been very intimidating. In this one, they are. So that's good.
They are. Death Troopers are great, you know, and they bring some new stormtroopers, you know, which is cool.
Yeah.
Fun to see.
Death Troopers were the only thing I felt like were kind of off as far as like we never saw them before, and they feel kind of modern. Like they're the thing that makes this movie. I don't know. They feel out of place in this New Hope.
They're the Imperial SWAT team.
Right.
They're good though. I like them.
But yeah, I like that it intertwines all these things and it kind of embraces that mythos. Was there anything I was gonna say about that? I don't think so. Yeah.
You mentioned how you liked the. I finally did see it in the second row. I didn't catch it, but you had that one shot when she's captured in the Clone Wars tanker or whatever, and you got that shot of that stormtrooper all beated up and sagging, right?
That's a really nice shot.
Cool.
I like that.
So I didn't catch that the first time, so rewatching it again.
The only thing I wish it would have done that would have been cool is there is kind of a lack at this point of bringing The Force Awakens and this new trilogy into kind of harmony with the original trilogy and with the prequels. So I thought it would have been cool maybe to have one of the planets that like Bodhi was on or something, you know, be Jakku, right? Or be one of the planets from Force Awakens, like maybe the planet that what's her face is on, Maz Kanata, maybe her planet or something, you know? That would have been an easy thing to do to tie it in. Definitely. But I guess, you know, it is better not to force things like that.
Yeah, which I think I think I would prefer they not do that, because I did think they did show us new planets, right? And it does show the vastness of the whole Star Wars universe. You know,
this is what confuses me about the Star Wars universe too, is that you can go to like a map of you can get like a Star Wars book, and there's like maps of the universe in like the Ultimate Guide of Star Wars universe or whatever, you know, and I don't think they comply to that in the Star Wars movies because they're always introducing new planets. So do they have to update the map every time? I don't know.
I guess.
Right?
Because you do have like the uncharted space. You know, that's
suppose.
where Luke's hiding out at or whatever. You know, so. But yeah, I do like it. I mean, they introduced some new cool planets. You know, it just shows the vastness of the whole space. So nice to see.
Although, you know, they do bounce around a lot for the first few minutes. You know, they're going back and forth to all these different planets and stuff, and I felt kind of shaken a little bit, but, you know.
I was just like, whatever. I'll go with it.
Whatever. Let's see. Next action sequences. So we're back to action sequences now, after a long tangent of all kinds of things. Jin and Cassian in Jeddah City with Chirrut. Yeah, that was a great sequence. I loved it.
Yeah, great. You got tanks bombing, going everywhere. That's like the beginning. That's the first battle scene we get, and it's like it really shows like this is a war.
Right.
Like,
well, it feels a lot like American Sniper or something. Yeah. Like it feels like a middle, like the setting is a Middle Eastern-esque setting. You know. Sure. You've got these people kind of lurking up on the top of buildings and stuff, and watching. Feels like someone's watching, which is often like a common like, you know, Middle Eastern war trope in movies. Someone's watching you from the rooftops or whatever. Yeah. So that was really cool. I like the kid screaming, and she saves the kid.
Saves him.
When she shoots K2SO, the other one, and he's like, no, that wasn't me. That's really good.
I had some great moments, and I love it. I mean, war, gritty, hardcore Earth fighting,
and then,
you know.
Chirrut Imwe's scene where he beats up those guys, that's really good. Like,
seeing that again, too.
Choreography standpoint, you know.
I know. Yeah. And you got, like, he's whacking him with a stick, and you can see, like, I noticed this scene, you can see little shards of glass fly from their helmets and this and that, you know. Yeah. And he's, like, literally breaking their suits, you know, which is really cool to see. And he had that was probably his best scene that I loved. Yeah. Real good.
They kind of, there's this plot line when they go into Jeddah City. Which is that, I love that it's under Imperial occupation. That's really cool. Like, you see the Star Destroyer above it and stuff. That's really cool. But so when they go into Jeddah City, they kind of make a big deal out of these kyber crystals, right? Yeah. They're mining them from the temple for the new weapon and stuff, and he senses the one on her necklace, you know. And that does come back into play one time. She holds the necklace, kind of praying to it as they're trying to get through the gate. But that is totally dropped, you know.
It is.
I feel like that's reshoots. You know, I feel like maybe the kyber crystal thing was more
had a bigger
relevant.
Part.
Yeah. Because then when they defeat those stormtroopers in that battle sequence, all these guys kind of smugglers like swoop in and like are like kyber, right? They grab all of it from the containment vehicle or something.
I didn't think about that.
And it's kind of like, okay, so what's the point of this?
Something's left out.
Plot point. Definitely. I think that was definitely reshoots somehow. Yeah. Something got mixed up in there, you know.
Maybe Mr. Saw Gerrera needs to make himself some lightsabers.
Maybe.
Who knows? Give one to that interrogation beast, you know. Yeah. Unstoppable.
That's what it eats.
But yeah, that was kyber crystals.
It's pretty good.
That's good. Let's see, what's the next battle? We got the...
Then they are taken to Saw Gerrera, and he's like, "Are you kidding me? I'm blind!" That was really good. Yeah.
That was a great scene.
And so then we have the dumb scene where he's like, "My child, have you come to kill me?" But I love the hologram scene, again. And then they decide to fire on the city as a statement of power, so that's really cool. Yeah. At first, when I first saw the movie, I thought that they're just... The weapon isn't powerful enough to destroy a whole planet yet, but this time I noticed they say just use like one reactor or something just to wipe out the one city. Yeah. Crazy. But I love that scene where they're flying off the planet.
That was a great shot too. You know, you got like the Earth falling in on itself, you know, and it's like K2SO. He's like, "We have a problem on the horizon. There is no horizon," you know, which is a great line. And then it has that one shot which I love is when like the Earth is literally explosion is coming up towards the Death Star. Yeah, you know, it's just slow. That was really cool. It's really really cool. You know, it shows the devastating power of the Death Star, which is great.
Yeah, I think that scene has a lot of tension and kind of stuff to it. People say the first half of this movie is really slow and stuff. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I like the.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, they light speed away, and then they go to the rebel base, and they send them to go to Galen Urso, and I like that whole sequence a lot. Like, they're in the rain, and it's dark, and she's climbing the platform and stuff. I like that a ton.
That scene sure is jolly scene from the second row, though.
But it was a relief to see it again in IMAX. Yeah,
you could see nothing from the second row. Oh,
I love the tension in that sniper scene, right, where he's maybe gonna snipe him, maybe not.
You're gonna shoot him or not,
And then I did notice a nice kind of setup, or just well structured writing here, where they their ship crash lands in that planet in the rocks or whatever, and then they have to steal an Imperial cruiser to get out, and then that's the way that they're able to get onto Scarif by having an Imperial cruiser, much like in Return of a Jedi. So yeah, I liked that. Was just good writing there.
Cool. Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool payoff you got there.
So there's just some good scenes.
Yeah. We got the final battle, of course.
Which is great.
Right? I guess that's the next one, right? On Tropical Island.
Yeah.
Really, I thought that was, one of my favorite battle scenes in Star Wars.
In all of Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah.
And, if this movie were just stuff from the first two acts, I think everybody would be like, that was disappointing,
Yeah, definitely.
Because that stuff's fine. And there are some great moments, but it's not great. The third act of this movie is really what redeems it.
Really does. It's a hardcore, gritty battle scene, and it's light too,
Yeah.
It's on the tropical. You can actually see what's going on.
There was that tweet that you
really
liked,
cool.
which
and
was
it's just such a
saying how you can have a dark. This is proof that you can have a dark movie without it being aesthetically dark.
Exactly. I love that. It's so true because a lot of times, you think this has to be dark, gritty, it has to be dimly shot,
set in
rainy,
overcast, dark,
exactly.
Maybe it's nighttime, With this, it's a really dark and gritty final battle, but it's set in a sunny tropical setting,
It's so cool, and they do it so well. I think all the shots are great, all the moments with them with the AT-AT walkers or whatever.
Oh, when it comes out of the smoke. Right?
Yeah.
They're like, frick.
Bay Malbus shoots it, and it just, reloads.
Yeah.
So cool. I love that scene. And, just the whole scene just keeps you on your edge of the seat. And, in the meantime, you have them trying to steal the Death Star plans, but then you also have, they're all slowly getting picked off one by one, practically. They're slowly dying,
Yeah.
K2SU, he has that great scene where he's fending them off.
And I like this kind of, this... almost like a heist planned thing that they have where they set charges on all the different points and then they blow them up, and so that lures the stormtroopers away.
Exactly.
And then one little thing I loved that I forgotten the first time was when Bodhi says we need troops down at this station, right? And then he tells the other guy to say we need troops down at this station. It's a nice little fun, it's like a kind of fun upbeat, the team's working together, we're beating them. And that was really good.
Time. Yeah. Love that. The whole scene was just great,
And then, of course, the space stuff is amazing.
Oh, space stuff is great, too. Oh. So good. You love how, just visuals on everything was great, It looked great. So cool. And I love some of the little shots they have where it's the camera sitting on the actual ship, on the back of it or on the wing of it, and you get that first person.
Which I think they do in Godzilla as well. The other film this director
it's such a cool shot. I love those kind of shots.
Yeah.
So that was cool, and then they also reused some of the footage that wasn't seen from A New Hope, And rewatching it, I did catch. You can definitely tell there's some that are slightly lower quality than others, which is really cool to throw in there, and it actually works really well.
Well, and I even think they actually remastered or they color graded some of the shots that were new to make them look old, so that they would all be fit, well.
Sure.
But it was so cool that he was able to find old footage that wasn't used in the movie of New Hope to put in this. We see Red 5, that pilot die, so that opens up the spot for Luke.
Definitely.
I love they use the Hammerhead Corvette to ram the
cool.
Star Destroyer into the other one. That's great.
And that's another thing about the space battle is, like, especially the big Star Destroyers. They look so real. Yeah. You know, which is they're probably done with practical effects.
I think they did use models or something because the Star Destroyers in the last act look just like they did in the originals.
They really do, and they look so like it's such a cool, authentic, old timey feel to it. You know, yeah. Like when they crash them together and it's like cutting off the whole upper half. I'm like, that is like a real model. Yeah. You can totally tell. Like, it looks so good. Mm-hmm. You know, which is like I love that they kept doing practical effects throughout. You know, they have some of the other aliens or other creatures, you know. I love that. I mean, done so well.
It's good because they're staying consistent now, you know?
Yeah,
You could easily go, all right, well, the prequels were CGI, so we'll just do what they did.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? But they're staying with the original trilogy vibe, and it makes it
But with bringing
really
some
similar
aspects of the prequels in, you know, well.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Which is really, really well done.
I love the space battles. They feel really classic, and the X-Wing stuff is great. I like the Mon Calamari guy. He's apparently modeled after Winston Churchill. The white and blue Mon Calamari. And the bit where they shoot in from light speed and they start coming. That's great. Yeah. They pelt the AT-AT. We're just at this point just going, this bit was cool.
Scenes.
But the bit where they pelt the AT-ATs with all the guns and stuff was really cool.
Or the scene where they finally do get the plans and they try to hyperspace away, but then Darth, the Star Destroyer, comes in and just like you see the rebel ships crashing into the Star Destroyer. That was good. Great shot, you know.
The only thing about the fact that I don't know, I don't like how the AT-ATs were defeated. It was cool when they're like pelting them with guns and stuff, but they went down real fast, you know.
They really did.
Like they're this huge threat, and then the X-Wing swoop in and just destroy, like annihilate them. Yeah. And you go, hang on. Why didn't they do that in Empire Strikes Back?
Exactly. I literally, first time seeing this, I turned to my friend. I was like, where was this firepower during Hoth? Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, they had X-Wings there.
They had X-Wings there.
I mean, you had Luke's X-Wing.
Luke flies his X-Wing out there, out of Hoth to go to Dagobah. So, like, why didn't they just use that? I don't know.
But yeah, some of those shots of the AT-ATs were great. I think there were like 3 or 4, you know, and they get picked off by X-Wings. But then there's that one of like that. I think it's the U-Wing. The little creature dude's in there with the little turret firing at the leg. And completely like just vaporizes the leg or whatever. Yeah. You know, and just whole crashes. So that's some cool shots.
Electronically disabling or something.
Yeah, I would have liked to see like maybe a group of the rebels like run under it or something and attack it from going inside it or something like that, which would have been cool.
I'm just glad. There. I guess I am glad that they didn't reuse what they did in Empire Strikes Back and go, look, it's the thing from Empire Strikes Back. Whoa, homages. Whoa.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
It is cool that it
worked.
A new way of doing it, but yeah.
It would have been nice to see something more, but it was good, you know.
And then meanwhile, we've got them retrieving the Death Star plans in a claw machine. That was kind of fun.
The claw machine.
The Weekly Planet pointed out one time that something unique about the Star Wars universe is that it there's no transmission of data really, like, or so like in the real world, you can, you know, email someone the Death Star files.
Yeah.
But in the Star Wars universe, which was created in the 1970s, during a time when you couldn't do that, despite the fact that there's lasers and ships and crazy aliens and all this stuff, you know, you still have to put these things on like drives and like physically carry them to each other, right?
Exactly.
There's no way to upload it to the net.
You know, and it kind of fits in with the whole thing, though.
Right.
You know, because like, I mean, how hard is it going to be to email an email across the whole galaxy? You know, like that might take years to get there or whatever. So it's cool, which it works too. You know, it's not like a huge plot hole in the whole series. You know, I feel at least, but
the bit where they are retrieving the plans is pretty good. Krennic comes back, and then he's killed by or disabled by wounded by Cassian. I like Krennic's death.
He got shot twice and didn't die.
Yeah, that's true.
You notice that?
He's invincible.
Yeah.
But I like that he's, he dies by the weapon of his own making.
By his own weapon,
and he
yeah.
sees it in the sky, and he's like,
like,
what was once beautiful when he was using it earlier is now not so beautiful,
That's good. He had a good death, I think.
Yeah.
Real well done, so. Yeah.
And then, of course, Jin and Cassian die on the beach as they're vaporized in a sunset.
They all die.
It's pretty good.
I think they were probably one of my more favorite deaths,
I liked all the deaths a lot. I'm so happy that they were bold enough to kill off the main characters because it needed to be done. They're not in New Hope, so it needed to be done to keep things, complete, consistent. And it's just such a bold choice when kids are watching, and that's great. Not catering to kids. So
this really is a war movie that is tatered
they're tatered. It's a tatered movie.
Catered to even more young adults and adults. It's not like Force Awakens. It does have some of those hard, deep moments. It's not. It's a kid's movie, right?
When do you think is the right age to show a kid this? I was in the theater and there was like a 4-year-old girl there.
I guess if you've seen all the other Star Wars, does it really matter? Because I don't know.
I'd show it at like 10, probably.
I'll show it at like 2, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm not thinking about that, dude.
The only thing I didn't like is they set up a thing where at the beginning of the movie, or Jeddah City is being blown up, and they narrowly escape in a spaceship. In this, the exact same situation is playing out, and they don't even attempt to do what they did one day earlier.
Yeah, good point.
But I guess we see that their ship has been destroyed. I guess
the chances of them finding a ship. You know,
and it's kind of supposed to be, I guess, that they're just kind of embracing their destiny or whatever.
Yeah.
So
and they're already wounded. Cassian's pretty wounded. And they're, everyone's dead except Jin and Cassian at this point. So I don't know. It didn't bug me that much. I can see why that would bug someone, but.
What did you think of the Vader scene, which occurred directly after this beautiful moment?
Yeah. Second time watching it, I loved it still.
It's great.
I love seeing Vader kick butt. It's
really
great.
Good.
So, I wanted to see a scene where he just tears up some rebels, and he completely does that in this scene. He's swinging his lightsaber with one hand. He's forcing bullets back at each other. He's throwing people around.
He pins the guy to the ceiling with the Force and slices him in half. It's great. It's amazing.
Crazy. That is a Darth Vader scene right there.
I adored that scene. Now again, I think I said this. I said it in my review for sure. It is like the Wolverine scene, and it is like Spider-Man in Civil War and X-Men Apocalypse. Didn't need to be there. There's no point to it.
It's for the fans.
It's freaking amazing. So,
Yeah. Which I did. You said in your review you would have liked it maybe to be at a different time in the movie, which I can totally agree. It would have been. It might have even fit even better if maybe he's on the beach somewhere.
Yeah, it would have been cool to have him on the beach. We've never seen Vader in a setting like that,
right?
Yeah.
Like on the beach, and all the rebels are there behind bunkers,
Yeah.
And he tears through them. Maybe he
so cool.
kills. Maybe he kills one of the members, and it was just dramatic. Maybe he could. What if he went up against Chert? That'd be fun to see. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
but it worked. I did say in my review, I think it kind of ruins the moment of their death scenes, right?
Yeah.
It very abruptly cuts to they've gotten the plans to the rebels and they're dying, facing their destiny, and then we suddenly cut to this Vader brutal fight scene, and it kind of ruins the moment. As well as we thought the plans were safe and sound. Like the Mon Calamari guy goes, "We've got them," right? And you go, "Oh yes, the mission's complete." But then there's this whole scene where they still have to get the plans to the ship or whatever. So I don't know. It kind of the idea that they died and the plans could have still not, been saved is just annoying to me.
Yeah, second time watching this, I did notice, it went from this nice, they get the plans, they send them to the ship, right? And they're like, okay, you think it's going to be all good. and then they die, and it's real solemn. But like the moment they die, everything starts to, like, almost go wrong.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden it's totally shift. That's the scene where you have them try to hyperspace out, but then Darth Vader's Star Destroyer comes,
right?
And he boards the ship, and it kind of almost falls apart for all of them.
Yeah.
But they managed just barely to pull it.
And
together,
again, it's an amazing scene.
It is.
I did feel like the movie ended abruptly after that the second time around.
Yeah, it really did.
They get away, and then we cut, and the plans are being given to Leia, and she's like, "We've got hope." And then they fly away, and then credits roll. And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" But
very abrupt. Very abrupt.
I
mean, it's fine though.
I still liked it.
It was good, jolly old film.
Only other couple things on my agenda, as they say,
were
the reshoots, noticeable things. We've kind of covered that. Anything else you noticed?
Yeah, I think so.
In the trailers, we see them, or in the Star Wars Celebration footage, we see them. Yeah, there were several shots just in general that were in the movie. But we see them running across the beach with the plans, which would have been cool to see them on the beach, because I feel like that was a bit of a cop-out for them. They don't have to face this, like, giant army.
Yeah, sure.
And it would have been cool to see them with the team on the beach,
Definitely. Which wonders if this was the plan all along, to have them die. Maybe
that's true.
Maybe they get on a ship and maybe they fly the plans up, instead of transmitting them.
Right.
So you wonder if but then you do have that shot in the trailers where she's trying to get to the antenna reposition thing, but you got that TIE fighter that flies up.
Yeah.
So
and the thing is, that shot is still in the movie, but they take the TIE fighter out.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's CGI and you can do that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. I don't know.
But yeah, there were just second time watching, you did notice some things that were out of place. Here and there. Like we did talk about the Cassian butt in the jail. So
right. I'd be interested to see what the original vision was, what things were different, and if this really matched what's his face, the director's actual Gareth Edwards' original vision, or whether the reshoots were to make his vision more prominent. I don't know, but yeah,
better or worse. Maybe his original idea was better than this. Who knows?
Who's to say?
A
couple Easter eggs we haven't talked about. Cantina guys we see in the street on Jeddah. That's fun. Very forced. I think that's the most forced of the Easter eggs. Like probably. they linger so long on that shot of him going, "Don't you come back," or whatever, And I was
either that or the R2 C-3PO cameo.
People keep complaining about the C-3PO and R2 cameo. I liked it.
Forced.
I don't know. I still like it. Yeah.
I felt like it was forced even more than the dudes on the Jeddah or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't bug me too much though. So. Too much of a problem.
We see a real life version of the space chess game Jarek in the little
that's fun
place, kind of like a cantina scene in Forrest Whitaker's cave. Bail Organa references Ben Kenobi. That's really cool. Love that.
Fun.
Especially since they've actually met in the Clone Wars and in Revenge of the Sith. So
they were best buddies,
nice tie-in. Yeah.
Chilling together.
And then Vader's castle on Mustafar.
Loved it. I love the castle.
Yeah.
Like, even going back and watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, it's just so cool.
Well, and that idea was in, like, George Lucas loved castles, apparently. And so he had that idea since A New Hope came out, but it never got made. And people even thought about putting it in Force Awakens or something. But so this was finally the fulfillment of that wish.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, what if they somehow brought the Vader's castle back, in future episodes? Maybe that's like the station for or the main meeting place of maybe the Knights of Ren or something, because
that would be a cool tie-in, right? You tie it in with Rogue One, which ties in with New Hope. Exactly. It all kind of brings it together.
Yeah, because maybe Kylo Ren, he's a huge fanboy of Vader's, right? So maybe he found out Vader had a castle, and he goes checks it out, and that turns out to be the headquarters for the Knights of Ren, because Kylo is the leader of the Knights of Ren, and I'm just like, because I want to see more of that castle, it was so cool. I immediately went home and researched a bunch of, I've been on a whole Darth Vader tangent this whole morning and last night, just looking up everything about Darth Vader, so it's so cool that he has a castle. I absolutely love that.
Did you notice the costume looking a little bit off?
Yeah? I did. I felt
in the final scene, it looks great. And when you see
I felt like the neck piece or something
Yeah.
looked a bit weird, a bit big.
Yeah. When you're seeing him from afar, like in wide shots, like that shot where he's silhouetted against Krennic or whatever, amazing. Yeah. And when he's in the final action scene, amazing. But when he has that conversation with Krennic, they're cutting back to a close-up of Krennic and a close-up of Vader, and it starts to suddenly click in your mind that this is silly.
It is, Yep. But then that scene at the very end shows up, and you're like, yeah, this isn't silly. But yeah, I did feel like there's something. I think it was the neck piece. Mm-hmm. Because I think I went back and watched.
Just too, I don't know, like down on his head or something.
Yeah, yeah. Because I went back and watched some of the scenes from like Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and he doesn't have it. He doesn't have that big of a neck piece.
Well, the thing is, they were trying to model the costume after how it looks in New Hope, like to the closest degree.
So you got to, because it ends that quick.
Right. Know? They literally, I think what they said was they manually put fingerprints on the on the helmet so that it would match the imperfection that it has in New Hope. So maybe they went a little too far with it or something, but it's only in that scene that I really noticed that it looks kind of silly.
Yeah, other than that, it's Darth Vader.
And he does have a great line of, be careful not to choke on your aspirations, director.
I love it.
I love that.
I think that's
really
great
good
line. Oh, yeah. So I felt like his cape might have been too short, too.
Yeah? No.
Yeah, that was bugging me. I don't know. When I see someone with a cape, I want it to be at least touching the ground.
Some billowy capes. Yeah.
His cape was like a little, 3 inches above his shoes, and that was bugging me.
So, out of 22, what do you rate Star Wars Rogue One? Or, I'm sorry, Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
A Star Wars, okay. I think, what did I give it last time? I gave it an 18.5.
Yeah.
I think I'll notch it down, though, to a 17.5. After re-seeing it, as much as I still loved it and thought it was great, just noticing some of the imperfections of it, and just some of the stuff that didn't work out as well as it did the first time.
Again, just for new listeners, this is our classic, totally nonsensical rating system.
Yeah.
Out of 22.
It doesn't get better than this.
We don't even know what it really means, really.
Yeah.
But I'll rate it 17 as well, I think.
Yeah.
I think I did 18 last time or 19. I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'll rate it 17, I think. I think it's quite a fun blockbuster.
Yeah.
It definitely could use some more characterization and development of the characters, but that third act is flat out amazing. So
it really is.
It really makes up for it. I said last time I think it was better than Force Awakens, and I do, again, still like that this is a distinct vision and not a product. But when I think about it more, I think Force Awakens is still better because it just flows better. The characters are more developed, and it's just kind of classier. I don't know. It just, I don't know. I think Force Awakens is a little bit better somehow. But, yeah.
Opinions change over time, though.
What do you think this is as far as, out of the year's blockbusters? What's this better than and less than?
Better than, not as good as Suicide Squad, I don't think.
The artistic masterpiece that was Suicide Squad.
This is the Suicide Squad that we deserve, right?
It's true.
This is the true Suicide Squad. So, I don't know.
I rank it below Civil War.
I agree. I think I put it above Doctor Strange, though.
Yeah, that's where I put it on my Letterboxd ranking. Because I think Civil War, while it has its problems, Civil War has better characterization.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Better writing, for sure. It's more seamless of a product. I don't even know why we're comparing these. They're totally different movies. But, I rank it below that as far as the blockbusters of this year. With Civil War, I think, being the best of the blockbusters I've seen this year, probably. So, yeah, that's that.
It's good.
Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Now we've got a whole year to wait until Star Wars Episode 8.
Oh, boy.
I think it'll go pretty fast, though,
Yeah,
It went pretty fast this year, didn't it?
It did. It really did.
And we'll probably get a trailer by spring, which is when they gave us the Rogue One trailer last year, or this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool.
That's that. You got a pick of the week, Hitchcock? Anything you watched this week other than Rogue One?
No.
Oh, you watched the Dunkirk preview. Why don't you tell us about that?
Oh, yeah. That Dunkirk was great.
In IMAX, you get to watch a Dunkirk sneak peek.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, completely taken out of context. So I had no clue what's going on. Who's who or this and that.
Yeah.
But the main, just to tell you a brief description of it, it was, in the trailers they have that shot of all the dudes standing on the bridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out to the ship, and you've got these two guys carrying a wounded or dead person, you can tell, to that ship, trying to hurry because the ship's on a deadline.
Yeah.
And then you have these other two boys, and it looks like maybe one of their dads or something, maybe their brothers. They're getting life jackets on the ship to carry, it sounded like, to those guys that were on the bridge or whatever, or to that boat or something. And then the best part of it was you have these three, I don't know the story of Dunkirk, so I don't know who's fighting who, but you have these three ships that they look like they're coming to practically destroy all the dudes on the bridge, right? Because that's what you see. In that trailer, they're all ducking once they hear the planes or whatever, and then you have this one other plane that's coming and kind of pursuing them, and they notice him and they break up, and it's kind of this air battle, but it's old timey, so it's with like the old Spitfire planes, classic, and it's not like a big.
Is this World War One or two?
Ooh, I think it's.
I think it's one, right?
I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'd have to look it up. I guess I could look it up, but it was a great scene.
That it's. I hope that it's like not just a war movie. Like Christopher Nolan's movies are usually very deep and very, lots of metaphor and stuff. I hope that it's got more depth to it than just a war movie. Because a war movie's great, but I love like Inception and Interstellar and Memento and stuff like that.
Yeah. It looked like it shot's great. And it just looks like it's classic Christopher Nolan, so you can definitely tell like the lighting's definitely Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
He has that distinct lighting. And
he's
stuff,
got a very distinct style.
Yeah, he does definitely. But like seeing it in IMAX and like during the fighting in the air battle that they showed, it was like literally the gunshots were like shaking the floor.
Wow.
They had like cranked up the sound or something. But I loved it. It was great. I definitely want to go see this movie now.
Well, I'm hyped.
Yeah. So okay, it's during World War II. So. Oh,
okay, that's interesting.
Out of Dunkirk.
Well, I was kind of hoping it was World War One because we don't get many World War One movies. But okay.
Oh well, we'll see. But
it looks great. What I watched this week, I watched it last night. Was Die Hard.
You were dying hard. What's that Die Hard?
I've lived 17 years, close to 17 years on this earth, and I hadn't seen Die Hard yet. And boy, oh boy, it was freaking fantastic. Alan Rickman is the villain. He's amazing. Bruce Willis is like the best. He's John McClane is a great hero. Okay. It is. I didn't know until I saw it. It's one of these one location things. He's stuck in this hotel.
Yeah.
Like most people know this, but stuck in this hotel pretty much like all night, and these terrorists are taking over the hotel, and they've got like set charges and stuff. So he's like creeping around through like the air vents and the elevator shaft and stuff. So it's totally my kind of movie because I love one location movies and stuff, like 10 Cloverfield Lane, and just lots of classic action beats and stuff that just have gone down in history. And some things that I'm like, oh, I knew that. I just didn't know it was from Die Hard. So yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. It's really well written and shot and everything. But yeah,
I gotta give that a watch.
I'm probably gonna go see Rogue One again this week. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna try to go see La La Land this week. Hopefully.
Yeah, we gotta see that.
Yeah. Maybe Manchester by the Sea, which is also up for nominations, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can people find us on social media?
All right, I'm at nerd_stream7 on Instagram and Twitter.
There you go.
So go check it out. Go follow, hit that like button.
I'm at Blockbusted Pod on Twitter and at Houston Productions 1 on Instagram. Also, if you want to follow the show... Oh, wait, no. I'm getting rusty here after 2 years.
Yeah, you are.
Also, if you want to contact us, that's what it is. You can email blockbustedpodcast@yahoo.com. Just send us an email. Just say hi. It makes me feel better about myself.
Anything. It makes me feel like we're doing a good job for once.
If you want to contact us in an easier way, just tweet us.
Just tweet. Tweet a tweet.
Also, Blockbusted is sponsored by Audible, so go to audibletrial.com/blockbusted for a free audiobook of your choice today. There's a lot of Star Wars books on there, like some of these ones that are now canon and whatever.
Yeah, like the Lost Stars, I think is on there.
Lost Stars is
which
good.
I hear is great.
There's a Rogue One prequel book apparently that's good or something about the Death Star.
Real good stuff.
So yeah, I'd go listen to one of those.
Yeah.
That's that.
Cool stuff.
What are we going to do next week, Hitchcock? We could...
Who's to say? We got Christmas next week.
We may have to skip next week, because next week is Christmas Eve, is Saturday.
Yeah.
And I'll be at my grandparents' that day, so... what are we going to do? Maybe we'll do something earlier this week or something?
Maybe we'll do a little short special or something.
Oh, that's true. Should we do Christmas movies or whatever? I don't know.
We did that last year, didn't we?
We did, didn't we? Well, I've forgotten everything I said, so we could just repeat it.
We could. I don't know how interesting.
We'll probably do best and worst movies of the year eventually, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll probably be the week after now.
Probably the week after that. Anyway.
Cool.
We'll see you guys in the next episode. What'd you think of Rogue One? Be sure to tweet us your thoughts. I'd never said that before. That's an interesting new take.
Personal
hot take.
Here.
And yeah, say your catchphrase, Hitchcock, if you will.
Hashtag wing it.
Hashtag
We're
wing
winging
it.
this whole thing. Hopefully this episode doesn't crash and burn.
Let's hope this doesn't crash.
Fingers crossed.
All right. What even is this, guys?
Alrighty.
We'll see you in the next episode.
See you later.
The next episode, if it comes out. If it doesn't have technical difficulties, we'll see you. Yeah, we'll see you. What even is this? Bye.
Bye.